this is strawberry, no, hawthornberry tea. Hello, dear friends. Good evening. Such a beautiful, beautiful evening. Let me have a sip of tea. Just, just today, I was chatting with my friend, and she said she kind of found some problem with a kidney stone or something stone. So I was thinking, and the doctor asked her to drink more water. So I was thinking something very important is to drink water. So before I start my story, I will encourage all of you to drink more water for whatever reason, to cleansing your body, to lighten up your diet, or for whatever reason. And I drink this kind of water. This is drink some very light tea, and this is hawthornberry, just dried hawthornberry. It's not as sweet as strawberry. It's a kind of berry, but more sour and very, very. They are wild and they are good. So, just to remind you, drink more water, drink more tea, drink more tisane, fruit infusion. Beatrix Potter, The Complete Tales. Hello, dear friends. Good evening. Such a beautiful, beautiful evening. So, we have read 2 days of these books, and I do not put this book in the right Zoom. Are we in the right Zoom? I do not put a lot of attention into the presentation of this book, the viewpoint of this book, the camera angle of this book, because most likely you will listen to it while asleep, while in bed trying to sleep. It's kind of an effort. I just cannot verify. I cannot verify the reason I make too much effort in the quality of the video. So the video quality may not be so good. Contents. So last time we read Miss Muppet and a fierce bad rabbit. I think this one is also short. The Tale of Tom Kitten, which is pretty short, 8 pages. Let's do it. The Tale of Tom Kitten. The Tale of Tom Kitten. 139. 139. 百什么帮你 131. So, we have done this. We look for a shorter story. Okay, I am sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry. Do dee da dee dee dun dun da dee 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 dun da dee dee. Aptly Daptly nursery rhyme. How about that? Apply. Okay, we read from the very first, the tale of Peter Rabbit, page 7. The tale of Peter Rabbit. About this book, the story of naughty Peter Rabbit in Mr. McGregor's garden first appeared in a picture letter Beatrix Potter wrote to Noel Moore, the young son of her former governors, in 1893. Encouraged by her success in having some greeting card designs published, encouraged by her greeting card design published, Beatrix remembered the letter 7 years later. 7 years later. Oh my goodness, that is breaking my record. And expanded it into a little picture book with black and white illustration. It was rejected by several publishers, so Beatrix had it printed herself. You don't want me? You don't want me? I am doing it myself. To give to family and friends. About this time, Frederick Wall agreed to publish the tale if the author would supply color pictures, and the book finally appeared in 1902, priced at 1 shilling 5 pennies. It was an instant success and was remained so ever since. It has a pacey story with an engaging hero, an exciting chase, and a happy ending, matched with exquisite illustrations, and the result is a children's classic whose appeal is ageless. Oh, sorry, I fell asleep myself. Same as when I read my children books. When they were young, I read books for them. And the result, I fell asleep. And they were still jumping in the bed. 9 little monkey jumping in the bed. One fell off. Da-da-dee-dee-da. The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sand bank underneath the root of a very big fig tree. Now, my dears, said Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Oh my. Oh my. Was put in a pie. That's a very educated way to say something miserable. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out. Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella. Sorry, I am going to sleep. We were here. We will come back late. We will come back late. Oh, this is reading story. Okay. Hello, dear friends. Good evening. Such a beautiful, beautiful evening. Let's continue to read that book. This is 2 days later. Maybe we will start from the very beginning. Remember the other day I was reading this book, and you can see directly, you can feel directly that I fell asleep. That was me. When I work full time or when I have a relatively heavy scheduled day, when I come back home, totally exhausted, I could not even finish reading a book. That is one of the reasons I want to make myself to take care of myself, work part-time, and so that I can have energy to teach class with good spirit, with good humor, with good sense of self-confidence, with full right energy. And so about this book, the story of naughty Peter Rabbit in Mr. McGregor's garden first appeared in a picture letter Beatrix Potter wrote to Noel Moore, the young son of her former governess, in 1893, encouraged by her success in having some greetings card designs published. Beatrix remembered the letter 7 years later and expanded it into a little picture book with black and white illustrations. it was rejected by several publishers, so Beatrix had it printed herself to give to family and friends. So at the beginning, this was black and white. Nobody wanted black and white, so she printed by herself. About this time, Frederick Vaughan agreed to publish the tale if the author would supply color pictures. And the book finally appeared in 1902, priced at 1 shilling 5 pennies. It was an instant success and was remained so ever since. It has a pacey story with an engaging hero, an exciting chase, and a happy ending, matched with exquisite illustrations, and the result is a children's classic whose appeal is ageless. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sand bank underneath the root of a very big fir tree. Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, Peter. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Don't go to Mr. McGregor's garden. Oh. Don't go there. You can go anywhere in the world, but not Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. Gregor. Oh my. Your father. Oh, that was not nice. Rabbit pie. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out. 小白兔乖乖把门开开. Okay. Then Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella. Where is her umbrella? This is her umbrella. And went through the wood to the baker's. I hope they do not sell rabbit pie. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Currant buns. 5 bread. She bought 1 loaf and 5 currant buns. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little rabbits and herself 5. That totally makes sense, right? Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. So they will have blackberry pie, right? No, they will make blackberry jam. We have our blackberry jam, which is by far the best of all the jams in the whole wide world. No question. Full stop. That's it. That's it. 没有 Chinese, what do we say? 没有. Yeah, there is no comparison. It's没有如果. But Peter, oh, that little Peter. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden. He wanted to become a pie, I think, and squeezed under the gate. A little bit like Gugu, right? First, he ate some lettuce and some French beans. French beans, haricots blancs, haricots verts. And then he ate some radish, les petits radis. 他先吃了扁豆，然后又先吃了青菜、生菜，然后扁豆，然后小萝卜。This does not look like radish, like carrot, right? 吃了胡萝卜。And then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. 吃太多了 yeah. So he felt a little bit sick because he ate too much. But round the end of a cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. McGregor. Oh la la, cucumber box. Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter. Waving a rake, and calling out, "Stop, thief!" But Peter is a rabbit. He might be better than the turtle, but乌龟. Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. Oh my, he lost the way. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages. And he has shoes. Peter has shoes. Look at it. Peter has shoes. This is so strange. And the other shoe amongst the potatoes. He lost one shoe, and another shoe is among the potatoes. Ooh, la 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 la. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster. Yeah, you should better be. So that I think he might have gotten away altogether if he had not unfortunately run into a gooseberry net. Gooseberry net, this is a bad net, and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. Peter, your fashion sense is destroying you. You should not wear shoes. You are rabbit. You should not wear jacket. You are rabbit. If you want to wear a sweater, you should not have buttons on the jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass button, quite new. New or old, that was a mistake, right? Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears. But his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew to him in great excitement and implored him to exert himself, and employed him to exert himself. Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve, wow, which he intended to mop upon the top of Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. Okay, now he's a natural rabbit. No shoes, no jacket. Should be good. And rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a can. And rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide in if it had not had so much water in it. Oh my, he will drink a lot of water, right? Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each. Presently, Peter sneezed. Ka-choo! 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 Mr. McGregor was after him in no time, and tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out of a window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter. He went back to his work. Oh, see, he cannot get out. The Peter ran and destroyed 3 pots of flour. That was quite, Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he had not the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp with sitting in that can. It's totally wet. After a time, he began to wander about, going lippity, not very fast, and looking all around. Lippity. He found a door in the wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. Fat little rabbit. Peter needs to go to Jim, not Mr. McGregor's garden. He is a little fat rabbit. You know, nowadays we cannot say fat, this word, right? Except for little animals. We can no longer say a human in that word because it's, you have the risk of being cancelled or being deleted or being terminated. But for Peter, we still have the freedom to say that this is a little fat little rabbit. An old mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asked her the way to go to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Oh, Peter. Oh, Cuckoo, white Cuckoo. Then she tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white Cuckoo was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, 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 very still. But now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. He went back towards the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of a hoe. Screech, scratch, scratch, screech. Peter scattered underneath the bush. But presently, as nothing happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. Gregor's hoeing onions. Mr. Gregor hoeing onions. Oh, onion. That is good for tearing, right? That thinking about onion make eyes tearing. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Peter got down very quietly off the wheelbarrow, and started running as fast as he could along a straight walk. Behind some black currant bush, Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him till he got home to a big fir tree. To that big fir tree. He was so tired that he flopped down upon the nice soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole, and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and a pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. In 2 weeks, he had lost 2 clothes and 2 pair of shoes. Oh my goodness, this is like in our schools, lost and found. The kids lose things every day. I am sorry to say that Peter was not very well during the evening. His mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea, and she gave a dose of it to Peter. 1 tablespoonful to take at bedtime. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberry for supper. He only had some black chamomile tea. Booyah! That's not the best. Okay, bye bye, friends. I love you. I really do. Do. Goodbye. Bye.